it's going to show me the 85 properties in those 5 zip codes that have active liens on them. Okay? And when you open up your filter tab again, you'll see that the quick choices list, it pulled up liens. Now you can go into that and specify what kind of lien, and we'll get to that as we go through each one of these filter criteria.
So they have predefined criteria.
Yes, or yeah, when you go here to the quick choices, these are predefined criteria. That is also the same thing. They give you more options here on the drop-down menu, but these are also quick predefined. So you can just click on those. Like if you clicked on the high equity, it's going to pull up all the properties in that area that have. I'm not sure what they consider high equity. I think it's 50% or higher. I don't ever, actually the only drop down filter that I've used on this has been the senior owners. And even within that, I add my own little nuances to that to filter them out. So one of the search criteria that we do, go into the property characteristics. This is where you need to define your criteria. Like, what am I looking for? Am I looking for single family? Am I looking for duplex, triplex, quad? Am I looking for multifamily? That kind of stuff.
And just to add to that, if you are considering doing this, one of the questions to ask yourself when you're just getting started is, what do I have access to buyers at already right now? Right, so you guys probably already know investors maybe in your market. So when you're getting started, try to target the things that will be easier for you to sell, right? That's who's in your immediate network. Like, who do you already, like, by me saying this, you can probably already start to think of like 2 or 3 people that like, oh, I know this guy will buy a single family home in this neighborhood because I sold him one or whatever, right? So when you're deciding like what criteria do I pick out and stuff like that, try to go to what's your network, right? Do you have a network of buyers already, or what's something that you would buy, right? If you found the right deal, where would you buy? So that might help picking out criteria and stuff like that.
And if I get on a roll and you guys got questions, just jump in, like interrupt me and stop me. So property characteristics, all classifications here. If you're going to start narrowing it down, this may be, I know you spoke about your storage unit thing. These are some of the criteria where some of that stuff's going to fall under. We're searching for single family homes right now. I have added in some small multifamily stuff to some of the most recent searches, but for that, we're obviously a residential property. And then property type here. This is where you get specific about what you're looking for. Do you want a single family? Do you want a condo? Do you want, duplex, a quad, multifamily? And then you can actually scroll down on that, and there's a huge list of things. I mean, it goes on for forever if you really want to step in and define it. I'm going to do single family for now. And you can do multiples of these. Like, we could search for single families and small multifamily at the same time. It would add them to the list. If I was speaking to Gonzalo the other day, he's working with some hedge funds that have a specific buy box of what they're looking for in the houses. I think he said 3, 1.5 was like their minimum criteria, and they have a specific square footage that they want. That's where you can narrow these down if you're trying to sell to somebody specific like that hedge fund. You would come in here and put minimum bedrooms 3, minimum baths 1.5, square footage of the building. If you've got an investor that's like, look, I want a such and such house with 5 acres of land, then you can do the lot size here. It's pretty easy to Google, square foot acreage and get that square foot number. Year built. I know they won't buy anything after like 79. Another strategy that comes up in this thing is the senior owners who are on the second floor. You know, they may be getting old, maybe not want to have to go up steps, whatever. You can do the number of stories here in the house. HOA stuff, included, excluded, whatever. And they even offer like the school district if you want, if you're interested in breaking it down that far.
And just so you guys know, like, this was not around when I got started wholesaling. So like, getting started wholesaling now is so much easier than what it was 5 years ago. The programs that are out there and the resources now for wholesalers is insane.
How public is that buy box definition of hedge fund? Is that public or?
How public?
Yeah.
No, it's not public. You would just have to make a connection at a hedge fund and just ask them what they're looking for.
And how narrow is it? Can you give an example without referring to it?
Yeah. So, I mean, I was just showing him, so like, every market is different. So the Memphis market, it's a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. The year build is 1979 or newer, and it's a minimum, I believe in Memphis, it was 1,100 square feet. Minimum rent of $1,000. But like, for example, minimum rent, that's their criteria, but I can't pull that. Like, that's not a filter that I can use, so I just don't use that. They won't buy attached properties or condos, so no townhomes, no row homes, no condos. Has to be a standalone single-family property. So what I did is I just pulled each individual criteria in each individual market. Kind of like Philip said, just follow the hedge funds. That's kind of what I've been doing. So I've done a deal now in Atlanta. I have one under contract in St. Louis. And we're looking at one today, like I said, in Memphis. And these are all only for the purposes of hedge funds.
The reason I'm asking, not really to go after it,
Right.
but to try to understand what is out there that is not being targeted by the hedge funds. So if they're saying that they are not looking for condos, so there are much opportunity for all of us to get condos because the big guys are not looking into it.
And one thing about the hedge fund, sorry to interrupt, like they're looking at anywhere from like a 4 to an 8 cap. So like you can chase after the hedge funds, they're chasing to selling houses, but we're probably not going to be playing with the same houses like you said, just because of cap rates.
Yeah, and like he said earlier, you may have some investor that you know already that has a certain criteria. It may not be anything near what the hedge fund stuff is. I just use that as an example, but like you may know people who buy 3-2 homes that have a basement, like Felipe. That's kind of his thing. They're in Nashville, turn them into a duplex. You can target that. Somewhere in this search criteria, I think it's in the property characteristics, something about a basement. I know I've seen it, but I can't remember what. Home features, I think. See, pool, garage, basement.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a house that has a basement that you can turn and convert this place into a duplex, there's where you would search. You would put all that stuff in these parameters, and it's going to narrow these down. And especially if you're in a big city, you're when you do that 5 zip codes in Nashville zip codes, there's like hundreds of thousands of properties that pop up before you start putting a filter in. And you've got to weed that down because you're not going to target $200,000, $300,000 properties in a campaign. It's just going to be too expensive, and it's just you've not narrowed your criteria down enough to make anything really happen. So, if we were searching in Nashville or around Nashville for one of like a property like Felipe likes, we would add that basement in there, because that's one of the kind of the only ways now, because Nashville's so exploded that you can make cash flow. It's by taking a single family house and converting it into something, a duplex, and renting by the rent.